Focus on a right wing. Look how this player inverts. I promise you've never seen movement like this ever before. This formation is actually insane. Let me show you, okay? Have a look over here. What you do is you create a numerical advantage down one side. It's similar to the one I had before, but you actually still keep the 4-back formation. And it's one of the best ways to attack. Now, it starts with the 4-4-2 structure. I'm going to highlight here the right-hand side to the right wing. Now, this right wing starts as a right wing, but watch how this inside forward type movement works. Now, what effectively happens here, as you can see, is this player, when out of possession, stays in that 4-4-2, but then look, it goes centrally. And what this does is it creates a mismatch because there's always going to be 2 defenders versus 3 attackers, or sometimes even 4 attackers, for example, in this situation, where it's very, very easy to break a hole and go through the gaps because there's too many players going forward. And you can see, unfortunately here, a bit of nonsense. Some people want to say scripting. I would just say absolutely unlucky. Now, what is also important is in the defensive phase, you are playing that 4-4-2. So you can see that 4-4-2, and you got the right-hand side. So that player comes back a tiny bit, but think of this player as like an inside forward roaming. They're going to be on that stay forward. They're going to be there for the counter-attack. But obviously, from a defensive standpoint, you still have a 4 at the back, and of course, you have the 2 CDMs as well. And one thing I wanted to show you here is we look at the build-up play. You can see, look, a defender situation, get the ball back, and you can see, as soon as I build up play, that right wing is still going to maintain that ability to go forward, go down the wing, and you can see you still have that 4-4-2 structure. But what happens is over time, that player picks up that space. Have a look. You can see, got the right wing, got Bick. Now, this is where the insane movement comes in. Have a look at this, okay? Bick is a right wing, okay? You can see when we lose the ball, have a look here. This is very important. I'm doing this deliberately so I can show you. You can see, returns back, but also makes the AI movement in behind. But then this is where it goes really key. Watch this, okay? We move the ball down south. We rotate the ball downwards. This is the furthest inside forward roaming goes, but look at that. He ends up picking up that 10 position. And what that does is it creates a guaranteed mismatch every single time, and your opponent can't stop it. Do you want to increase your win rate just before Team of the Season? We got the Division 10 to Elite Division series. All the videos are finally uploaded. We show you how to get from Division 10 to the Elite Division basic gameplay. No speed boosting, no mechanic abusing, no Trivella at all, because we want you to get there just with basic gameplay to show you don't need to mechanic abuse. If you want a mechanic abuse, that's fine. We want to show you to play properly first and then show you what the pros do. What pros do is they used basic gameplay and then they mechanic abuse to get the top 10%. Not the other way around. They don't mechanic abuse first and then learn the basics. We go over complete in-depth tutorials. And don't forget, with my entire series, if you join now during Team of the Season, remember, if you don't get better after 1 month, we will refund your money. That is the nil guys guarantee. That is how sure we are. We've been running this for 4 or 5 years. We go over in-depth tutorials. We also go over pro gameplay analysis where we analyze the full professional player's game. We got tutorials for everything, undefendable through balls, player locks, precision passing, precision shooting, everything that you could think of that goes beyond my YouTube channel. We've got the full defensive series, which defending series alone, just by watching that, I can guarantee you will improve. Patreon.com/NilGuys. Links down below in the description. If you don't get better after 1 month, just send a message on Discord or send a message through Patreon and I'll refund your money. That's a Nil Guys guarantee. Don't believe me? Try it out. What have we got to lose? Less than the price of a KFC meal nowadays. And don't forget, as I mentioned, that player is still going to be playing as a right wing, so you can still use that through ball just after a prolonged period of time. When that player sees the spin, this is why the plus is so important, which I'll go over in a second, and why the role is so important. That player picks up that position, and then I can create the numerical advantage like I have done, and I create that mismatch, and your opponent can't read it. Some good defending from my opponent to then cover that situation. So how does this all work, okay? It all starts off with the 4-4-2 or the 4-2-2. And it's my old system, except for we don't have the right back on joint attack. Before I used to have the right, remember on the old one that I showed you, I had something like this, and it was something like this. And what this done is it created like a situation where you don't really have the right hand side, and this player was on a false back, and people were worrying about defensively, so we changed it. It put this player on deep line, play make it defend, so it's slightly back. That way, covering for the right hand side. Then Patterson, which is my right back in this case. Now, what the most important thing here is with the right back, we're just putting them on full back defend. Okay, so you got your back four in shape. So from now on, you shouldn't get counted. You should be defending in a 4-4-2, but also defensively, you still got that 4-4-2 as well. Now, the most important player is you got Son and Correa. I use 2 different types of movements. I've always talked about them. The most important thing is that shadow striker. So in possession, as I explained to you before, That is how they start really high up. So you can see when you have the ball, or when you initially have the ball, you can see Bick plays that left wing. And have a look on the opposite side as well. Look at Wanyeri. He's still playing that left wing position. So effectively, you're attacking in that 4-4-2. Defensively, he comes back in a 4-4-2. And then when you win the ball back, still makes the AI movement. Okay? So think of this player like an inside forward. But when you move the ball down, then they end up picking up that space. And that's when the AI movement comes in. And that is where you get that player in that 10 and you can be attack heavy. So this is one of those formations where you're attack heavy down one side, and this is the way to go. So after doing some fine tuning, this is the one to go with. I'll be honest, I think this is top 3 formations inside the game right now. I would even urge any pro player to even give this a go, because you get that initial movement initially, but then that player moves into that position. And if you attack down one side, for example, like this one, and you can still attack down the right hand side, as I mentioned, with Bick, he's still initially in a build-up phase. He can make that run in behind, as I showed you. You can also use the player lock. You have to go down the left-hand side, but it's after that prolonged period of time, then the player shift. A really smart thing to do would be having 2 formations of this, where this attack is basically flipped. So on one side, it's like this, and then the other side, it's like this. So that way you can just switch between them, and of course you just switch the exact role, so you get the exact movement. And that way you can just keep switching between them inside the game all the time. Now, the most important thing for the movement here is this player has to be plus plus. Ideally, you want this player to be plus plus as well, but a regular plus is fine. But I'll be honest, the most important player is Shadow Striker. To get that unique movement, team season players, high attack positioning, and you want plus plus. We got both the advanced forward and poach for both the strikers. You can use both advanced forwards if you want to. As I've always mentioned, I like one of each, 2 different combinations. CDM on holding the left-hand side just to help with the build-up play initially, as I showed you in the earlier clips. And then Zakaria, the deep blind playmaker, we have this play on CDM, sitting a bit more back, a bit more deep, as that way if you do lose the ball, you have someone covering for that right-hand side if and when need be. We've got the fullbacks on fullback defend, both the defenders on defenders defend, and the left back, we've got them on balanced. If you really want to, you could go and you want to be a bit cautious. You want to err on the side of caution. And of course, feel free and use defensive variation of fullback with balanced. They're in the right place at the right time. They don't go forward too much. They're just a bit wider and a bit more in front. And I think that helps with the build-up play, as I showed you in the earlier phase. And this is what I meant. So you can see when we win the ball back here, you can see already positioned a bit higher there for ready. And you can see that Bick makes that movement into the middle in between a half space. And each of my opponent doesn't know what to do, has never seen this movement before, and just can't defend against it. Something just to bear in mind there. And you can see this example over here. We get the ball with a left back, and you can see when we end up losing possession of the ball, you can see the left back is standing at the right place at the right time, not too forward. And watch when I pass the ball away. Look, the player doesn't run forward, just stays in that position, but just a bit wider compared to the fullback defender. That kind of makes that back 3 there. So you're ready to secure that area. So that is how the system then works. So there's just a few things you got to bear in mind. The roles are important. For the tactics, that's the code if you want to copy it. Capital X-Ray, Sierra, Victor, 5, Capital Charlie, Uniform, 7, Echo, Hotel, Tango, Capital Tango, sorry, 7. Now, build-up style counter. For the defensive approach, I would recommend going with high. I've already made a video on what defensive approach you should be using. I'd highly recommend you watching that video. But if you don't know how to defend, you have not, let's say you're struggling defensively, go with like 55-50. But for most people here, I would say go with 70. If you don't know how to defend, please go 50. But that's basically it. Don't forget, if you want to get better FC, come to my Patreon series. Give this formation a go this week. I promise you, you will get through. Give it a try. Don't play it for one game. Give it 30 games. You haven't started your weekend league. Play some rival games. Give it a go. You'll be shocked. Try it. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, when you get better FC, come to my Patreon, patreon.com/no guys. Don't get buffed for 1 month, you refund your money. We've got defending videos, attacking videos during team in the season. Remember, if you don't get buffed for 1 month, we'll refund your money. The defending videos alone will guarantee you will improve your performance in the weekend. If it doesn't, send us a message after 1 month, we'll refund your money. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace.